welcome to the B Shine. My name is Brian from the B Shine. We have some very special guests tonight. Ill City in the building, New Jersey represented heavily.
Yes, sir. Ill City.
Reek, I want to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
I read that you've been, since 8 years old, been writing. That's when you started writing.
Right.
Um,
I wrote my first rap when I was 8 years old.
First rap. When was your second rap?
I don't remember. I remember that. I remember my first rap because I tried to flow like Tretch. And, yeah, that's the main reason why I remember it.
Nice.
Tried to get my Tretch flow on.
So as you got older, started rapping more, was there a moment for you where you said, like, you had some acknowledgement, or you said, like, I want to do this?
When I seen a lot of the artists from my environment were able to be successful, I was like, oh, I could do that. And it was like we was around it so much that you felt the energy from it. And when you saw that other artists from your neighborhood were able to be successful, it just made you want to go and push. And then younger artists came up like Illegal and The Youngsters and all those kind of artists. And it was like ABC. You was like, man, I could do that. And yeah, that's where it came from. That drive came from that.
Nice. So was there a moment where you said, like, I think I can do this? Like, there was something that happened that you got, like, a certain level of praise, or was it just the drive, just the whole time the drive?
So a lot of times, these artists that were successful, they ended up becoming my peers or older brothers. So them being around when ciphers would go on and you spitting and they giving you praise, it made me feel like, yeah, if I can get acknowledgement from them that, yeah, this young kid dope, then I could do it myself. I definitely can.
Nice. So the reason why I started with you is because I watched that Sirius XM interview, and everybody pretty much unanimously said that you kind of brought everybody together. You knew everybody from different parts and kind of wanted to create the group.
Right.
What would you describe as Ill City Entertainment? Like, what is it as far as, like, the elements? Because you said it's not just a group, it's a business.
Right. So it's a business where we all have positions that we play so that, the train can run. But it's also a family, and one of the dope things about it is we have music as the common ground that helps bring us together, but we also still deal with each other personally. So, I mean, Shop might not be having a good day that day, so, his brother gonna be there for him, and maybe I'm not able to be there, and Stomp is, or Cyfe is. So we all look out for each other regardless of music or not, so it makes it special that way.
Nice. You have some experience from your run with 050. You got a lot of exposure from that. Sirius XM, did some shows. What did you learn from that you're bringing to into the table for Ill City to benefit from?
So what was unique about 050 is that I started off initially with a group called Collision, and shout out to them. And when I got with 050, I didn't have a relationship with them. So I had a relationship with Prince Ock, but then it was True and a few other guys. Excuse me. A few other guys, and I had to actually learn how to work with people musically and business-wise that I really didn't have a relationship with. What that helped me do is being able to work with other people, even though you may not have a personal relationship, when you got a common ground and you got a common goal, that you can put certain things to the side and be able to be successful with it. And it helped me to bring everybody together because they all didn't know each other initially either. They may have known me, but they didn't know each other initially. The funny thing about it, if you seen certain interviews where a lot of us were fans of each other, but still we didn't have a personal relationship that was developed. So just being able to say, hey, I come from this, and I come from a group setting where, you know, you guys got to put egos to the side, where you guys got to be able to take your creativity and move it forward. I was just able to do that with the crew.
Nice, very dope. So we are going to talk about the album, but first I want to get to know a little bit of everybody. So let's pass it over to Shot Kubang first. Pull that out. Here we go.
Shot.
Yo.
Shot, how you doing?
What's up? How you doing, Brian?
Good. So based off what Reek was just saying, what was it like coming in and immediately being part of like a large group, right? It's not like one or two people. It's like, you know, a big table that you're at. How was it coming into it? Everybody working together initially?
Right. Well, like you said, you know, we all were kind of like fans of each other already, you know, for years. I had, you know, known Dot through like, you know, just being at like events, you know, through the city and things like that. You know, we all do the same thing. I had got on the Stomp, you know, just being in the network. So we were all fans of each other at first initially. So it was kind of easy, man. It was just about the bigger picture and shedding the ego, you know. And if you like look at the game, it's not like a lot of collectives right now, you know, coming at a high caliber consistently, you know. You can't name 3 trios or even 3, you know, camps, you know, that's doing it in the game. So it was about just, you know, bringing that wave back and controlling the energy, you know.
Yeah, this amount of people in one group, like right now, being active.
It's not done, you know, and people like shy away from it instantly just at the first, you know, sound of it, you know, before they even hear the actual music, you know. So it's 7 people, you know. So it was about just bringing that wave back, you know.
That's cool. So you and Frank have a really dope song called Soul Food. I was listening to that.
Yeah, I
earlier.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Right. You be digging.
That's a really dope song.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I understand you to have a knowledge of like a lot of the artists that came before you.
Right,
So
definitely.
who would you say are some of your like personal influences that really inspired you?
Oh man, I mean, I always was a fan of rap, but like X was the first to like really make me like fall in love with the culture. You know, like after him, it was like he was just like a superhero to us, man. Where I was from, you know, like X could do no wrong, like he could do anything, you know. So yeah, for real, jump 10 buildings, you know. So after him, I kind of followed after like the like real barbarians, you know. It was Kiss, you know, Fab, Siegel. Who else? Black Thought is real heavy for me. Ghostface, Scarface too. That's a real big one for me too.
Nice.
You know, so yeah, you know, guys like that. You know, real like soul. You know, lyrical content. You know, just the real. I like the real shit, man. And Nas is #1 for me over anything. So yeah, I'm biased when it comes to that.
All the
guy.
greats.
Yeah, all the greats, man. All the good.
So you're one of the members in Out the Mud group. Can you explain the meaning of what that name means?
It's just about perseverance, you know, and you know, overcoming your past and your mistakes and just, you know, your traumas, things you've been through doesn't have to determine where where you're going. You know, it's about getting knocked down 9 times and getting up 10. You know, if that's what you're about, you out the mud. You know.
So speaking of that, I have a quote from you. My mind was in an elevated state, cracked the cuffs out the box. Remember that? What was the
box? Yeah, steaming like a crave case. Everything. Oh, that's all you is though. So okay, I like that. I like that.
Crack the cuffs out the box. What was that like epiphany that you had that you know that others might be able to learn from?
Yeah, it was about just believing in myself, man. One time, me and Frank was having a talk, and I kind of like, I was, you know, I came to a point talking to him, but I kind of realized it myself too. I asked him, you know, what was the definition of being humble, and he was like, you know, knowing that, you know, you are great or whatever, you know, and there's people out there better. And I said, no, that's bullshit. You know, I said being humble is knowing that you're great, but there's a greater you out there, you know. And it kind of like hit me as I said it to him, you know, and I'm like, damn, you know. Right, and you know, I just had to realize, you know, being humble sometimes get you nowhere, you know, and it give people a sense that they can kind of like play with you and shit, you know, to kind of be blunt. So it's like I just had to remind myself who I was, man, and just, you know, started taking the craft to the next level, you know, and I feel like it's showing in the music, you know. So
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, that's a vague statement to say like there's a greater you, but you took it to you, like you deciphered what it means to you,
right,
and
right.
it really like must have hit you hard.
Right, it did, it definitely did, man. And it's religion, man. You know, at this point, you know, it's just it's always something else out there to achieve. You know, nothing is unfathomable. You know,
That's dope, man. All right, so let's hear from Big Stomp right now.
Big Stomp.
So, Big Stomp, you used to battle rap.
Yeah.
Right?
I definitely used to get some of that in there.
Are you?
Let's talk about it.
So, I follow battle rap pretty heavily since like I don't know 2010.
Okay.
It's come a long way.
Long way since I was doing it.
Yeah, what was the I guess I don't want to say era, but like the time that you were battling, was it neighborhood style, or was it, you know, organized as it is similar to today?
Nah, it was neighborhood style. It was more so, you know, at the time that I was doing it, it wasn't as many people rapping to begin with. So it's like you had people from the North Ward, you had people from South Ward, and it's like, you know, I might meet up. I heard about Reek, and sooner or later we bump heads and we, you know, exchanging verses until somebody run out of gas. Like that's how the battle was back then. And you know, if you was fortunate enough to go off top, you could say something directly to him also.
When you talking about the wards, you're talking about Newark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like put Essex County, period.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You're really traveling like the hood, you know.
That's why. I mean, that's what started it off from all the different cities. Even in like the 80s, I remember interviewing like Devastating Tito from Fearless 4. He was like, he would have his, he told me he had his like rhymes that he would write, and he would battle somebody, and then he heard someone else in another neighborhood battled, so he had to go find him and see who was better. So they're doing that back then. Yeah, like I heard about him, I gotta find him now.
Right.
Yeah.
Wild West, man.
What was the most amount of rounds you ever went in a battle?
I want to say it's definitely been times.
Gonna be on y'all with
That's cool.
I never even thought to ask him that one. That's a very good one.
It's definitely been times where I've went like 20, 30 minutes straight, having to blend it though, like written verses, freestyling. Back then I could go off the head good, but yeah, about 20, 30 minutes, and I refuse to lose, so it's nobody who could tell you that they crushed me.
That's wild. What do you think about where it's elevated to right now?
I think it's beautiful actually, because now these guys don't have to just do it on the corner. They can actually make some substantial money, like, and it's to the point where, you know, people getting masters to it and like it's blossoming into something beautiful.
Yeah. I always think of it from just the level of lyricism. It's so complex. Yeah. And I'm just like, it's on another planet to me at this point. And
it's extremely entertaining now. Like people got gimmicks and costumes and all that stuff.
You said Clinton Avenue since day one. So there's going to be people watching this that don't know Clinton Ave.
Yeah, Clinton Avenue and 20th Street, Newark, New Jersey. That's where I'm from.
Okay. So just representing.
Yeah, you already know.
Okay. Here we go. If I need to fit in, there's no need. Well, if I need to fit in, there's no need to get in.
Right.
Right. So that, to me, I interpret that as, like you're not going to fall for being a sheep like everyone else, right?
Basically, I move on my own time. You know what I'm saying? I don't do what other people do. If I'm not feeling it, I ain't with it. You know what I mean? Unless Reek asks me to do it, then I'll make an exception for him. You know what I mean? But, you know, like trying to blend in and do what other people do, it's not how I move.
You. How does that work when you're in a group, especially as large as this, when that's sort of like an independent mindset, but you are, you know, apparently you guys collaborate very well together too. So you help, you know, motivate others to just as a group be unique, right? Not just not just yourself.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. I mean, that mindset is pretty much outside when I'm outside, period, dealing with the world. It's easy to fall in line when it comes to the group because everybody's selfless. It's no egos, you know what I mean? So it makes it a lot easier. So I'm here to play a part. So if Reek asks me to do something, I'm going to do it because, like he said, we got to keep this train moving.
Reek asked me, and I'm here, so same thing. Let's move to Cyfe. What we got? Graham Cyfe. So,
What's going on? What's going on?
so you have more of a unorthodox voice and delivery. I would say it's very distinct. It's very
I
gritty.
expected that.
I want to get into one of your quotes. You said, "They said I never had a chance. I'm sick of hearing that." So what? That says a lot, right? That could be a lot of stories, a lot of history. What can you share about your past and the events that you've overcome that you clearly show that you're creating a lane for yourself now, and you're determined now. But for people listening to that, I mean, is there any more context you can give to that?
Generally speaking, like coming from Jersey, it's not like the South, you know what I'm saying? They all out there helping each other out, doing, they rapping, they putting each other on. Like, it's different out here. Like, it's all like kill, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody releasing nothing. I've been in multiple groups, did mad shows, they all show loves with their eyes, but they don't really speak about it. And it's like, it's basically it's difficult to, I think, me personally, for us to come out of Jersey, and if we can capture Jersey to be in line with what we saying, would be very huge, because like it's like crabs in the barrel out here. It's rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more like you're saying down south they support each other. Their music scene is a lot bigger because they're all just working together, helping each other.
Yeah.
Like there's enough for everybody to eat, pretty much. All right, you also said something I thought was really interesting. Coming out of the streets or the school, it doesn't matter the message. So I interpret that as you learn similar values on the streets as you or lessons on the street as you would in school, or something to that effect. How do you interpret that?
Certain people are less fortunate than others, so it's hard for certain people to get jobs out here, so they got to resort to something else. Just to, you don't know their purpose behind it. It may look bad in the plain eye, or but deep down you don't really know why he doing this or that. So basically that's what I meant by that.
Yeah, it's deep. You got some nice quotes, so I wanted to point them out. All right, let's hear from India. We passed that.
What's good?
India. So, who have been some of your influences growing up, as far as that inspired you to write?
So growing up, I like rappers that could be relatable, storytelling, that you could just feel what they were saying, that they told their life story. That was one of my favorite rappers, my childhood crush. 50, I love 50, Eve, rappers that I could feel their story. Like when they talking, I could put myself there, or it inspired me to want to tell my story.
Okay. So speaking of that, your story, Concrete Rose, really, really dope song.
Thank you.
Listened to that a whole bunch of times.
Thank you.
I heard a lot of struggle and pain from that song too. Can you tell me about the devil on your shoulder and where some of those challenges might come from to inspire you to write that song?
So I grew up like really crazy. My mom wasn't there, my dad wasn't there. My aunt raised me. I grew up in mad different situations. I overcame. I'm overcoming a lot. So when you come from a place where there's so much trauma, you could go left or you could go right. It's nothing that stops me. I must say that. It's a lot. My kids, they stop me from, getting out of my mind. But I could either do some fucked up shit or I could do some smart, something smart. I chose to take that route for the betterment of myself and my kids. So the devil always there. Like, I could flip, but I try to keep under control because I got a lot going for myself and my kids.
Okay, that's dope. And what role does music play in your life as far as from a therapeutic standpoint or just an artistic outlet? Just in general, how much you, I don't want to say rely on it, but use it as a tool.
So music is therapy for me. It definitely is a hobby, not only a hobby, I guess a way to, I just did a song, like, Reek orchestrated it, and it allowed me to release, and in that moment, like, actually heal, if that it makes sense. But it allowed me to really, like, address, like, something towards my mom and my dad, which allowed me to really, like, realize what happened, accept it, understand it, cry some shit, but just get back to it, like, yeah, move forward. I even, like, hit Reek, like, thank you, because sometimes you suppress shit when you go through it, but I was just like, I had to face it, and it's a healing, it's an outlet, it's a way for me to tell my story, which I plan on doing.
Dope. Thanks for sharing that. Let's hear from Frank. Pass this.
You.
So, yeah, I listened to Soul Food a lot today. That was a dope song.
Appreciate you, man.
But
Appreciate
I
you.
did.
One of my favorite verses.
Yeah. And I listened to specifically a lot of songs that you were featured on. I don't hear a lot of personal references as far as like some of the others we were talking about that like represent like something that happened in their past. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if that's done intentional, and if we can look forward to like music that's a little bit more personal to get to know you as an artist a little bit more.
Yeah, for the most part, it's definitely done intentional. These niggas be calling me Batman all the time because I don't really release everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't give everything at once. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I could say I'm saving it, but, you know what I'm saying? I guess I'm waiting for the right time, you know what I'm saying? The right beat or the right scenario to, release it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, because sometimes when you, express something that you might be hesitant to, other people hear it and you're surprised at like the reaction. They're like, yeah, me too.
Right.
Or like, oh, that really like, inspired me or something like that. And you'd be surprised sometimes.
Right.
So yeah, that would be really dope. I did try to pull out something that could get more context on. You said no risk and no reward to see. This is a payback for everything that's sold to me.
Yeah.
So
let's
talk about that.
I mean, basically, like, it's sacrifices you got to make and risks that you have to take to, get to that other side. And if you're not willing to take those, risks, then you'll never know, or you'll have regret, or, you'll feel some type of way for not doing it. So, no risk, no reward. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get your bag. You feel me?
Yeah. Is there a specific risk that you could share that you've taken that you are glad that you did?
I ain't want to say that out loud. I'm about to give him a little under the table nudge. Like,
I mean,
about to give him a lawyer nudge. Like,
I mean, everything I've been through, it shaped who I am now. It put me in certain positions. God don't make mistakes, so it got me to the point that I am, and I can express it like India said. Everybody got a story, and this is my opportunity to tell mine.
Okay, dope. Dot Bundini, last but not least.
Yeah. Hello out there in TV land.
No people addicted to the crime life. They're not trying to get into the limelight.
Yeah.
Right. So since you're here, it's clear that you're on a different path. What motivated you to choose the direction that you chose?
Family, love, wanting to be there for the younger generation in my family. A lot of good peers around me that kept me focused, basically. It's real easy to get caught up in the streets. And I'm not even that line that you just said, it isn't a bad thing. It's just I know people that's that would rather, you know what I'm saying, that don't get caught up in the limelight. They
Yeah.
look at the street shit before they get caught up in anything else.
Yeah, I mean it's hard when you have so many influences around you to, I guess, go left. It's even harder to just go straight.
Right.
What has been one of the rewards that you've seen by making that decision?
I'm here.
Big reward, big fact.
All right.
I mean, I'm not in jail. I'm not
Yeah.
6 feet under.
Yeah.
And I'm here with people that I love and I care about. I mean,
Yeah, that's powerful.
right.
That's powerful. All right. Let's pass back to Reek. Talk about Gangland. What's the significance of the name Gangland?
So
So this is the album. Yeah, this is the album.
Gangland is the album. Yeah, so Gangland was just saying that, we call ourselves Ill City Gang, and it was just saying that it's our turf. It's Gangland, it's our land.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
You were telling me earlier, Ill City is East Orange and Newark, but it's more than that.
Right. So how Ill City even came about was because East Orange,
Mhm.
where I'm from, is called Ill Town. But also being from Brick City, Newark, at the same time, I wanted to put them together and merge them. So it became Ill City. But then the camaraderie ended up just being from Essex County, period. And the more and more, it grew. Rose came, and that was Union County. So she's from, representing Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just saying, man, if you from a place that's ill, that's what we represent. That town that's ill, that city that's ill.
All right. The making of this album, can you talk a little bit about the production choices and also the writing process as a group sitting together writing or individually and coming to the studio with, material?
Right. So we wanted the project to be nostalgic. A lot of the guys, like you heard Shot Go Bang mentioning, a lot of the artists that he loved was, the greats. So we wanted the project to be nostalgic of that, So that's what helped the production out. As far as the writing is concerned, we would love to write together, but the people who most likely writes together the most is Out the Mud, because they're a 3-man group. But a lot of times we actually get the concepts via phone, and after the concepts is done, then we try to get it written down and put together, and then we just meet up at the studio, and it just works out.
Sounds good. I mean, it does sound good, literally.
Right.
So,
Appreciate that.
what's your vision of the overall role that Ill City plays in the landscape of the hip hop scene? Right? Where do they leave their mark?
So we represent Jersey. We represent Jersey. We represent Jersey hip hop. If hip hop is not aware of how much of a presence and how much of a place that Jersey plays in hip hop, we wanted to make sure that we showcase that in this project and in this movement,
Okay, cool. Well, speaking of Jersey, talking about the role that it plays, I wanted to kind of get everybody's opinion on like a this or that, who, as far as a personal preference on Jersey artists or groups comparatively.
Right.
So the first one is Lauryn Hill versus Queen Latifah.
Shit.
So we need to get a consensus. So we got 2, 4, 6. So we got 7. There's going to be a winner. Yeah.
I'm gonna say. So we talking about hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Artists. Yeah, as artists.
So, if I have to pick one, I'm gonna pick Queen Latifah. I'm gonna just say why. The reason why I'm gonna pick Queen is because she has multiple projects that are hip hop. I only recognize Lauryn Hill for one solo project, which actually has numerous amount of music on there that's R&B. So not only that, she 9 times out of 10, if you ask her, is gonna say one of the artists that she looks up to as a female MC is Queen Latifah. So I'm gonna run with the Queen on that one.
You went real technical on that. So who agrees with Reek? Yeah. Okay. Queen Latifah got that one. All right, next one. Redman versus Joe Budden.
That's I'm saying.
It's preference though. Sometimes it's preference.
Joe Buttons is nice.
Yeah,
Joe Buttons is nice for
Joe
Joe.
Buttons got bars, man. I feel like he don't get enough credit in the game as a whole.
Hold on. So for me, I listen to Buttons more than Red.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that.
Buttons got.
Yeah, I listen to Buttons more than Red.
Because those murder, what was it? Murder music?
No,
mixtapes?
Mood music.
Yeah.
That was a classic.
He had a
He
bunch.
should've made that an album.
When Buttons did
should've been
Leak,
an album,
he
bro.
started talking about his mental state.
Black Cloud and all that. Man, come on, man.
But he just stopped actually making new projects.
No
Like I think
idea.
his last one was what, Rage in the Machine.
Yeah, fire.
And
That was
Yeah,
fire.
shit was
That
crazy.
was fire. Uncle Joe.
So you remember Red and his projects, but it's not as many as and all the time. I feel like Joe put his foot in it every time. So
You know, I'm going with
So it's Redman.
Joe's my guy.
Yeah.
Joe my boy, bro.
I'm going Joe. I'm going.
like that alone right there.
I'm going Red.
That was unskippable.
I'm
Muddy
going
Water.
Yeah, man.
And Rand is kind of got this thing about him when he get on features. It's like I never heard him feature on there when he don't stand out.
Redman.
On song,
Yeah.
Like even at
Always.
cuts when he come on, it's like he always got something that you like.
Headbanger.
Bugging, yeah.
Oh,
or
yeah,
just
crazy.
A couple lines you ain't gonna forget. So, y'all like, yeah, bro.
All right, here we go. Naughty by Nature or Fugees?
Oh no.
yeah, Naughty by Nature.
Okay, that's an easy one.
Yeah, that's easy.
They got real deep roots in our community.
Okay. I imagine you guys go pretty deep in, somewhat of underground. So we got the Outsiders versus Artifacts.
I'm gonna go with the Outsiders because they from the other side of 20. So.
Okay.
The Outsiders.
All right, the neighbors.
Yeah.
Reek's in deep thought right now.
Artifacts though. Yeah, to sell yeah, that's close.
It's just like, it's
I'm going outside.
Yeah, if I was on Drink Champs, I'd take a shot.
it's a tough one, right?
I'll say the Outsiders. I was a big fan of a lot of their old stuff. Like
Yeah.
when Slang was living, I got a chance to hear a lot of that old music. They
Yeah.
100 miles and run.
It's a preference thing. For me, I like the Artifacts and I've listened to them a lot, but the Nightlife EP from Outsiders, I've listened to countless times.
Right. It's a hard.
It's a preference, like.
So
for
I'm
me.
gonna stay to the side.
Okay. All right, last one here. Poor Righteous Teachers or Lords of the Underground?
Lords.
That was an easy one.
Unanimous decision.
But you can't take away from Poor
I'm
Righteous
not.
Teachers, right? Right.
Nah, I love Poor
They're
Righteous. I was
incredible.
about to say
We
them off
might
the
be
rip,
we
until
might
you
be
said
biased.
Yeah.
Lord. I wasn't even gonna give you a chance. I was gonna say Poor Righteous Teachers, but you said Lord, so I was like, nah. That probably was the only name you could have said.
Yeah.
We might be biased though, but Chief Rock was crazy.
Yeah. That's dope.
Rock this funky joint was hard, but Chief Rocker was
He
crazy.
was always crazy.
Yeah. So,
See him do that live?
what else would you like anybody to know about Ill City?
So, just to let everybody know, we got solo projects that's dropping from Out the Mud, Big Stump, Dot Bundini, India Rose. India Rose will have a couple singles that's coming out soon. Out the Mud is low in right now with Mud is Sticking in Water. That project is fire. And still make sure that y'all check out Ill City Gangland. It's out right now, all platforms. Everything fire. And it's definitely hip hop for Jersey, putting a stamp on it.
All right. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to Big Nutty too, man.
Shout out to Big Nutty, you couldn't be here, and shout out to the B Shine. We out of here, Brian.
Jersey.